The surface of the ocean was a vast, star-studded expanse. From high above, the soft glow of the moon painted shimmering paths across the waves. Yet beneath this tranquil beauty lay a secret that chilled the very heart of the sea. The song of balance, the harmonious melody that had guided the tides since time began, had vanished. It was as if the ocean itself had lost its voice, leaving behind an eerie silence that whispered of danger. In the heart of Aqualith, a hidden kingdom nestled between glowing anemones and sapphire coral, lived a young mermaid named Naya. Unlike her peers, Naya wasn't content with practicing water dances or weaving seaweed braids. Her heart yearned for more. With flowing silver fins that shimmered like moonlight on water, she was drawn to the mysteries of the deep, especially to the strange humming conches called echo shells that the ancients had left behind. One day, as Naya explored a sunken pirate ship, she discovered an old journal filled with tales of a legendary group known as the Tide Choir, whose voices had kept the sea in balance. But their harmony had been shattered by a terrible betrayal, and now the ocean was falling silent. Determined to uncover the truth, Naya set out on a perilous journey beyond the coral ring, a forbidden zone near the mysterious Midnight Trench. With her were Tico, a tiny electric jellyfish with a nervous giggle, Brumble, a grumpy but loyal hermit crab who lived inside a chipped teacup, and Sari, a wise blind seahorse who saw with sonar. Together, this unlikely band of adventurers braved a sunken city filled with ghostly laughter, navigated forests of kelp that whispered warnings, and even ventured into a volcano cave guarded by a massive whale who sang in low, rumbling notes. As they journeyed, they faced many challenges. Naya learned that the Song of the Deep, once sung by the Tide Choir, had the power to influence the behavior of marine life, control the tides, and keep the ocean in balance. But it also attracted dangerous attention, for lurking in the shadows was Morvax, a mysterious figure made of ink and bones who sought to plunge the sea into eternal silence. Then, as they neared the Midnight Trench, the abyss of the ocean, the light disappeared. Here, surrounded by crushing darkness, Naya confronted Morvax, a creature who had once been a merman, but had turned bitter and silent after losing his voice in the Great Coral War. Morvax revealed that he guarded the remains of the Tide Choir, petrified in coral, believing their voices had betrayed him long ago. Now, with the Song of the Deep silenced, Morvax had taken it upon himself to end the lives of all living creatures in the sea, plunging the ocean into an eternal, silent slumber. Naya, desperate to restore harmony to the sea, refused to give up. She knew that somewhere deep within Morvax, a glimmer of his former self remained, a flicker of the merman who once sang with the Tide Choir before the darkness consumed him. But how could she reach him? How could she awaken the sleeping song within his ink-filled heart? Suddenly, Naya remembered the echo shells. With trembling fins, she placed them to her lips and closed her eyes, picturing the vast ocean around her. She envisioned the majestic humpback whales breaching the surface, their haunting songs echoing across the miles. She heard the gentle swaying of the kelp forest, the silent language of the deep. She listened to the playful clicks and whistles of dolphins dancing in the shallows, and even picked up the distant strains of human music drifting down from the world above. As Naya immersed herself in the symphony of the sea, something remarkable happened. The ocean seemed to respond, sending back echoes of its own. Encouraged by this, Naya continued, weaving together the sounds of the sea into a tapestry of sound. She sang not with the mellifluous tones of a siren, nor with the perfect pitch of a trained vocalist. Her voice was that of a young mermaid who had never sung before, filled with uncertainty and a touch of nervousness. Yet as she poured her heart into the song, something stirred in the darkness. A faint glow began to emanate from the petrified coral, and the figures of the tide choir started to stir. One by one, the ancient voices awakened, their harmonies blending with Naya's. Together, they wove a tapestry of sound that resonated with the very essence of the ocean. And as the song reached its crescendo, the darkness around Morvax seemed to thin. The shadowy creature faltered, his form flickering like a candle in the wind. Naya continued to sing, pouring all of her hopes and dreams for a peaceful ocean into the melody. Her voice echoed with determination, echoing the strength and resilience of the creatures that inhabited the deep. She sang of the patient starfish that regenerated lost limbs, the unyielding corals that built reefs, the playful dolphins that chased the moon, and the ancient whales that carried their songs across generations. With each note, the glow around the tide choir grew brighter, their spectral forms becoming more solid by the second. The combined voices of the merfolk resonated with the buried memories within Morvax, stirring something deep within his shadowy heart. As the song neared its end, a single tear escaped Morvax's eye, a glistening pearl in the darkness. Then, with a final surge of sound, Naya reached the climax of her song. In that moment, the darkness around Morvax shattered. The shadowy creature cried out as the combined voices of the tide choir enveloped him. His form flickered and faded, dissolving into a myriad of bubbles that floated toward the surface. In his final moments, a sense of calm washed over him, a feeling he had long forgotten. With a final sigh, Morvax was gone, finally at peace. The ocean seemed to hold its breath, then let out a long, slow exhale, as if releasing a heavy burden. The glow from the tide choir intensified, bathing the abyss in a spectral light. And then, just as suddenly, everything went quiet. The song had ended. Naya, exhausted but resolute, watched as the glow faded and the spectral forms of the tide choir dissipated, leaving behind nothing but shimmering motes of light. But the silence that followed was not the eerie quiet of before. It was a silence filled with promise, a hush that whispered of renewal and rebirth. Then, as if awakened from a dream, the ocean came alive. The currents shifted, swirling with newfound purpose. Schools of fish darted through the water, their scales flashing like jewels. The playful antics of the dolphins broke the surface, their laughter echoing across the waves. Even the majestic whales joined in, their haunting songs weaving a new melody of life and hope. And in the heart of Aqualith, a celebration erupted. The merfolk, their voices ringing with joy, welcomed Naya home as a hero. But Naya, though honored, knew that her journey had changed her. She had glimpsed the depths of despair and the resilience of hope, and she realized that true courage lay not in power but in empathy. So when the time came for her to take her place as the next leader of Aqualith, she chose to share the honor with her companions. Tico, with his radiant bioluminescence, became the keeper of the light, guiding the young merfolk with his gentle wisdom. Brumble, with his sturdy shell and unwavering loyalty, was named the guardian of the reefs, ensuring the safety of their underwater home. And Sari, with her sonar abilities and keen insights, became the seer of Aqualith, helping the merfolk understand the whispers of the deep. Together, they led Aqualith into a new era of harmony, where every voice was valued, and every creature, no matter how small or different, had a place of honor. And so the legend of Naya and the song of the deep echoed through the ages, a tale whispered by the currents, carried on the backs of dolphins and sung by the whales on their eternal migrations. It was a story of bravery, of friendship, and most importantly of the transformative power of music and the enduring spirit of those who dared to sing their own song, no matter how different or uncertain it may sound.